It is 5 a.m. Welcome to day 146 of the 5 a.m. Squat Club. Now, 4 years ago, I moved out to the country to raise our own food, but little did I know how physically demanding that would be. So if you're a homesteader, a farmer, or you're just weak, join us. You'll realize your body is the most important tool you have. So if you build that up, you're good to go. Join us every morning. We're going to do it together. First thing we're going to do before we warm up the body, we're going to prime our minds. We're going to choose our first thoughts of the day. So find yourself a little bit of space. And what you want to do is sit down on your feet underneath the hips. If you feel like you're going to fall backwards, grab yourself a counterbalance, hold it out in front. And while we open the hips, we want to open our minds. So I want to choose my first thoughts, starting with I am responsible. I want to remind myself that it's up to me. I am accountable. I am responsible. It's my responsibility to make progress or to not. There's nobody else to blame. Nobody's coming to do it for me. I am responsible. I will make time between stimulus and response. I want to make sure that I'm working on patience, that once something comes at me that might normally be agitating, that I'm able to slow down and give a reply that is what I'm proud of and not just a snappy reactive one. I have all I need to succeed today and will focus on progress over perfection. That's what we're doing here, right? I'm not aiming to become the fittest person in the world in one day. I'm not aiming to achieve all my goals in one session. I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to take the steps, and over time, the progress is going to build up until it's something impressive. And then last is I choose gratitude. Through all this process, if I'm only seeing the things that need to be built up and the things that need to be fixed and the corrections that need to be made, then all I see is negative. I need to focus on things that are good so that I see more and more of those, and that motivates forward. So I'm responsible. I will make time between stimulus and response. I have all I need to succeed today and will focus on progress over perfection. And then I choose gratitude. And the more I can repeat these, the more they'll become real and the more they'll become my defaults. Next, let's get moving. Good morning, Jody. Good morning, good morning. How we doing? All right, got some extra props there today. Make some space. All right, so we've got a special themed workout today with the Sandbag for the Homesteader theme. First, we got to get up off the floor, get up out of our beds, get moving. Good morning, Federico. Good morning, Yaroslav. So first thing, just our 20 burpees. We're just aiming to get up off the floor, get the blood flowing, turn on the body so that when we go and try to lift things, that we're ready to go mentally, physically, to make progress. All right, that's 4. So join on in, just get yourself down to the floor, get yourself back up. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. And we're gonna get through 20 here before we get into our more specific warm-up, before we start picking up that sandbag. And then remember, afterwards, we've got our opportunity work. And if you were in the school group or if you were listening yesterday, I was talking about single leg work for the opportunity work. However, I think what we'll do is that's going to alternate weeks. And this is up for change as well. It may keep changing until we're through it a little more. But I think we're breathing already. Instead of just the single leg work every Tuesday, what we're going to do is alternate with a little bit of back bridge work. So today, after our sandbag work, we're going to work a little bit on getting into a back bridge, because that's a goal of mine, a recent goal. Just thinking about opening up the anterior chain and the shoulders and the thoracic spine and strengthening the posterior chain a little bit. because it's definitely not a position I can get into right now. But I think the types of things that would get you there are the things that I need. Hopefully that's not too confusing. All right, regular warm up here. We're going to get through this 2 rounds now. Freddy's with Diana at 66. You guys working or are you working out? Join us. You got a sandbag? Maybe, yeah, join in with us. Okay, so next we're going to go hip flexor warm up in the form of knee raises. We'll get 5 to 10 per side. You'll see it's written down there. I'm not going to follow that super strictly. I'm just going to move and talk, but you can follow it exactly or hop on a machine. Next, I'm going to get some good mornings, warming up, opening up the posterior chain, the hips, hamstrings, low back. Get a few of those. Then we'll get in some reverse lunges, just taking that back knee to the floor, trying to keep a vertical shin the front leg. We'll get in a few more burpees. And then some squats. So feet underneath the shoulders, toes out slightly, hips ideally come down below the knees. And then we stand it back up. And then while we're doing this warm up, we'll chat about the physical demands of a physical life. And maybe, I'll throw in some reasons why maybe you should consider growing some of your own food. So about 4 years ago, just over 4 years ago, we made the decision that we wanted higher quality food. And for me, since, I mostly eat animal products, the move for me was let's raise our own protein. So we moved out to the country and we now raise all of our own chicken, eggs, lamb, beef. Basically, 85, 90% of our protein. And because that's mostly what I eat, it's 80% of what I eat. But with that, we practice regenerative farming practices, which means we're trying to mimic nature as much as possible. And I'm not going to get into the details of that too much, but what comes with that is a very physical existence, right? And if you are, a homesteader or a farmer, you know this already, but it comes with, and I've got some clips coming up of this, it comes with, carrying buckets, lifting bags of feed, pushing, pulling, dragging. All of those things are happening on a daily basis here. And if I wasn't fit to begin with, I would struggle with being able to do that, and I'd be at higher risk of injury. If you go find me a farmer who's in their 70s or 80s, generally what you're going to see is they're pretty beat up, right? The mentality, and this applies to other things outside of farming and homesteading. It applies to most sports, that people will think that doing the sport itself, and I'll use sport here to define our homesteading as well, that they think that if they can, they'll use the sport themselves, the sport itself to create the fitness for that sport, which in my opinion is just backwards, right? If I want to have capacity to do a physical task, I want to have a buffer, right? I want to build up enough capacity so that if I'm somewhere within here, my risk of injury is low. Where were we at? Maybe some burpees, right? So I can't just do the task itself, right? I can't just say, hey, I'm going to run and that's going to create fitness. No, that sport is going to beat you up, right? Those beat up farmers, those beat up runners, that's because they only did that job, that task, that sport, instead of building a foundation of fitness, strength, and health to support those things. So this is the balance, right? This is taking the responsibility for creating fitness and strength so that those sports or homesteading or your physical life is accessible, safe, and efficient. Fred says, early morning fire call, trying to get the team going. Nice. Maybe they could join in. So let's talk about our workout here today. So we've got sandbag cleans. So the idea here is like on the farm, and I'm going to give you a video if I can find it here. On the farm, like we're physical. Here, let's do this. I think I can do it. There we go. So here's a little clip. Those are our laying hens in their natural habitat. That trailer is where they live in the evenings, where they lay eggs. But as you can see, our chicken feed comes in these 55-pound bags. Right there is a clean. Right, that's literally our sandbag clean. I'll show you a couple more physical activities here. Right, this one here. This is our meat chickens. And as you see, I'm dragging that house for them. You're lifting the lid, you're filling water, you're carrying water buckets, carrying feed, refilling that garbage can. It is very physical work. I've got one more little video here to show some physical work. But these are just some basic examples of, so here we're building fence. Those posts are our corners and our brace posts, and they need to be loaded on the tractor. Yes, I've got a tool that moves them around, but I need to get them on there. So another physical job, deadlifting. Here's a clean coming up. About to clean that to the shoulders if it's heavy. Oh, I didn't clean it. Oh, there we go. Deadlift, clean, press. Right, it's literally clean and jerk. Functional movement, hard work. It's happening all the time. So if I don't build capacity for that, I'm going to struggle. So let's talk about this today. So all we're gonna do, it's gonna be simple, but probably very unpleasant. We're just going sandbag cleans. As you saw there, that's my pick the food up. Here, we'll go with that as a demo first. I brought in a bag. I'm not gonna use this just because it's gonna make a huge mess in here. But this is the idea, right? This is part of my everyday life. This is oh, there's no label on it. There's a label. This is a local organic bag of chicken feed from a local Mennonite. It weighs 25 kilos, that's 55 pounds. I need to do this all the time. So this is very, very functional. Let me give you a quick demo of how this is gonna work, and then I'll talk about other options. So I'm gonna get my hands underneath this thing. I'm gonna deadlift it. I'm gonna bring it to the hips. And then I'm gonna get dust everywhere. Just gonna pop it up to the shoulder, and you notice once it's there, it's supported, it feels pretty good. And I can walk around with it. Oh my God, I guess I could squat and I could do whatever. But I'm not gonna use that for the workout because I was told, don't play with your food. That's not even my food, so we'll give them a break. Okay, so options for this, however, I can go with a med ball if I have it, obviously a sandbag. You could even just use a dumbbell, right? And I'd probably go, maybe hands on the outsides of the dumbbell, take it to the ground, take it to the hip, and then drive, or one hand on it, bring it to the shoulder. It's just a clean, you want to use what you have at your disposal, something challenging. But let's talk about technique. If you do have a sandbag, what I want to do is get my hands underneath it, straight arm, hands underneath. I want to get a deadlift, bring it onto the hips, wrap myself around it nice and tight so that it's as close to my hip as possible. And then I'm going to drive the hips and ideally kind of let it roll up to the shoulder. And that's my goal position, with it sitting on the shoulder at the top in a controlled, supported position. Now, that ball is 30 pounds and this one is 120. So this will be different. I think what I'm thinking for this, we'll go about 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest. That might mean like 3 cleans for me. It might mean 10 for you, depending on what kind of weight option you have. Part of my challenge here is if I was in the gym, I would drop that. But that's not gonna work here, obviously, because I got people sleeping upstairs and I'd probably break this floor. But there's one that's picked up. It's doable. We can handle it. Let me know how you guys are set up, what your options are. Yaroslav, you got that punching bag out? What have we chosen for our options? Let's go, what is this? Okay, let's let's move to our next section here. Let's start talking about our workout. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about the other thing afterwards. All right, team. So as I'm saying, we're going to go 10 minutes, alternating minutes, not alternating minutes. So used to saying that. Every minute on the minute, you're going to get some sandbag cleans. I wouldn't aim to go more than 30 seconds. I have really no idea how long these are going to take me, but 30 seconds is kind of the max that I want to go because these will be very intense, and maintaining the heart rate is going to be very serious. So we'll see how many we get. I generally like to kind of increase as I go, but we'll see. We'll see how it feels. Do it. All right, team. 10 minutes, 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest. This might get really sweaty. I'm already going. Let's do it. 10 seconds. Good luck, team. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Whoa, didn't get that one. I'm gonna start with 4. Went touch and go on the last one there. Whew. Yaroslav. Yeah, it's pretty big, but I think good enough for this exercise. Perfect. Jody. Cool, you know I love your farm videos. Oh my God, don't spill the feed. Yeah, it's still closed. 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. There's 5. Oh, that might have been too much. Probably should have stayed with 4. I'm going back to 4. 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. That's 5 again. Ooh.
Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, not likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been
3,
running right
2, 1.
I'm playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain. Turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness.
4. Holy, this is serious. 20.
5,
10.
Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really
5,
take a loss, well, I'll admit.
3,
That's why I'll
2,
make it to the top.
1.
I commit, and no, I'm never getting lost. I get out of it, investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go. Let me spend everything that you see is something I invent. And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss off, forget it. I'll take a bad loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots,
4.
learning how to fall and get it.
We'll 5 the second half.
Always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up. I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning. You could call me academic. I'm always working. Never been apathetic. That
30.
energy is like a poison. It's an antiseptic.
15. Maple, stop. Hey. 10. Maple. 5, 3, 2, 1. Maple, leave it. That's 5. 4 more sets. Maple, stop. Maple, go. Go. Can't stop you. 15, stop, Maple. Go. 10. Holy. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah. I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, nah, likely. I be
Maple.
taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me
Maple.
CEO, I've been running shit crazy. And I ain't playing games. I create my own lane, make pleasure out of pain.
Good morning, Megan. Says team, keep up the good work. You too. 3 more sets. I'm struggling a lot. Maple, can't stop her. Stop licking me. 3 more. Maple, go away. 5, 3, 2, 1.
I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get
Whoops.
after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto.
2 more.
Hits go, let me spend everything that you see is something I invent.
Oh, God.
And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss off, forget it. I'll take a bad loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how
20.
to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, I sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing, I regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm
10.
always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic.
5, 3, 2, 1. Oh, God. Five. One more set. 30. Last set. 10. 5, 3, 2, 1, last set.
Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, nah, unlikely. I be taking
Catch your breath, team.
Cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing.
Really, Vito, yeah, thanks.
Run it up when they hurt me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO.
Megan said, what was the work? It was just sandbag cleans every minute, about 30 seconds. I did 4 for most of them, 5 for half. That wrecked me. Jody says, holy shiz, dude, ouch. I think in 146 days in a row of doing this so far, that might have been the hardest one. I am messed up now. Oh, good thing we don't have 100 push-ups to do maple. That's so much licking. So much licking, maple. Yaroslav, awesome workout, everyone. See you tomorrow. Adam, how heavy is your sandbag? It's about 115 pounds. Megan, yeah, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So 40, 45 cleans basically, something like that. And then now, we've got our opportunity work, which today is back bridges. I know, right? So we're gonna watch a quick little video here. Maple, you just gotta stop. This is too much, it's too much. Too much licking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch, actually let me just turn this down. We're gonna watch a couple clips here. Jody says, I couldn't take my sandbag hitting my shoulder. Round 4, I switched to med ball and landed on 12 per round. Amazing hurt for a simple 10 minutes, right? And Megan, sweet. We'll do that after benching. Megan, I feel like it's been quite a few times that you've mentioned that you bench. Is that just your, is that opportunity work, or do you really like to bench? Is it a weakness? All right, we're gonna watch a little clip here. Stop it, from strength side. And, what? No, don't do that. Why is that happening?
I'm an art history major, and this final is due on Friday.
Why is this happening? Sorry, I thought I had this down. Still gonna do that? There we go. So, this is, I don't know if you've seen him before, but we are going to work towards a back bridge. We're gonna talk about a few movements. So, we're gonna do a little bit of opening here first for the hip flexor and for the shoulders. So we'll get into likely some pass-throughs and some overhead mobility positions. Some pass-throughs, as I was saying. And then likely what we're gonna work on is just this kind of half bridge for today. A single arm. Maple, you're just too much right now. So, and the reason for this, right, the reason why I've chosen this, let's just see if there are a couple more movements here that we want to see. Yeah, this is the push-up from the head. These are just progressions that we're going to get to eventually, you know, feet elevated push-ups.
On that last rep, you're just going to hold there for anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds.
With the goal of opening up the anterior chain, right, the chest, shoulders, and really extending through the thoracic spine. And at the same time, strengthening the posterior chain. Maple, okay, you're going in the crate. Too much, maple crate. Too much licking. Sorry. Sorry, dog. Okay. So let's do this. First thing, while we're just so sweaty, grab yourself a PVC or a broomstick or a hockey stick or whatever. Megan, it's in the programming, but also a huge weakness. 6 chest surgeries. My upper body is weak, so counted as opportunity work. Fantastic. Fantastic. 6 surgeries. Holy moly. But that's it, right? I mean, you're seeing, hey, based on where I'm at, this is the work I need to do and attack it. I love that. So let's do this. Grab your PVC, go out nice and wide so that you can take it behind the head. And we're gonna start with that. We'll get 10 pass-throughs just overhead to behind the back. I think what I'll do is I'll start the clock here. We'll work for about 10 minutes just to keep it under control, not let it get away from us. So we'll do a little bit of mobility and then a little bit of work towards this back bridge. Where's my remote? So I'll just count it up. Okay, next one here, we're gonna get into a couch stretch. So let's go shin up the wall, step out in front. If that's too much, just bring the knee away from the wall. But let's get that shin up. We'll lift the chest and shove that back hip forward. It is crazy sweaty here. Oh, there's a towel, that's good. We'll hang out there for, I don't know, 40 seconds to a minute. We'll switch, and then we'll work a little bit on those single arm, oh my goodness, bridge work. Tell me about that. That was some kind of sweaty thing. I'm surprised I didn't slide out, slip on the ground. Oh, like I was saying yesterday, I was nervous about that one. For good reason. But, you know, you can think about it. We'll talk about this more afterwards in moments of clarity. Let's switch sides if you haven't already. That, you know, if I do that, if I beat myself up like that with that, whoa, that side's tighter. With that sandbag, you know, when I get out into my everyday life, my regular world, you know, be it with the feed bag or, you know, 5-gallon buckets filled with water, or, you know, lifting up the trailer to put it on the 4-wheeler, whatever it is, those tasks are easier because I've worked harder ideally than I need to in my workout. And at the same time, I'm safer and more efficient in those tasks. My risk of injury is much lower because I've built this base of fitness, this base of capacity that creates a buffer for injury. So if you have a physical job, you know, or you're a homesteader, even if you're not, right? There will come a time where there is a task that is, you know, physical and outside of your current capacities. So if you're not training above your daily requirements, then you're at higher risk. Simple as that. Oh, probably should stay here longer, but this is good and uncomfortable. So why don't we hop out of there? Okay, I'm just gonna dry out my floor a little bit, and then we'll try out some of these single arm bridges. Wow, got very, very sweaty here. I think I might need to put down a mat. We'll see. Okay, so let's explain this first movement. If you're still feeling pretty tight in the shoulders, just keep stretching that out, get some more pass-throughs, do what you gotta do. I'm just gonna explain this first one, and then what we'll do is we'll do them as an EMOM, so don't worry about following along yet, just watch. So, and I'm not an expert on this, we're gonna be learning this together, by the way. I'm not claiming to know all on this, but I think what I want here is, I don't want that. I'm gonna set the hand behind me, feet on the floor, and then basically my goal here, and what we'll do is we'll alternate minutes, right arm, left arm, is I'm gonna push the hips up, I can take the other hand overhead if I want, and I can move back into that shoulder. I can rock into it a little bit. I can drop the hips. I can press in. And that's probably what that's gonna look like. We're gonna get 30 seconds on one side, wait till the top of the minute, 30 seconds on the other, and we're just gonna alternate through there for, I don't know, 6 minutes, 4 sets, 3 sets each. So let's do that. Let's go at the 4-minute mark, choose a side, and we'll go from there. 3, 2, 1, go ahead. So press up at the hips. You can take the arm overhead if you want. I'm just trying to push up as high as I can with the hips, get some weight over that hand, maybe even come further over. Really pushing the hips up. I think for me, opening the hips may be the biggest challenge here. 20, maybe one more. Whew. We'll rest there. We'll go the other side on the other minute. Someday we will get into a back bridge. I'll show you at the end here where I'm at. Maybe we'll do that each. We'll actually test out the position, see where we're at, so we can measure our progress. Next Tuesday, it'll be single leg work. We're gonna alternate this. 3, 2, 1. Other side. Even do reps, just send the hips up, back and down. You can see my ankle rolling the wrong way. Vito, this seems much more sensible than the workout. Yeah, try it though, Vito. Try to get into a bridge and you'll see how sensible it is, especially with tight shoulders. Hang around, we'll try one together. Vito, I want to see a video of you trying. So basically what you would do, Vito, if you're paying attention, hands underneath the shoulders, and then in essence, you press up. Oh, that's so bad though. I feel all that in the low back. I want to see a video of you trying that though. See how sensible that is. All right, left side, go ahead. Couldn't imagine bringing this hand down to the floor. I mean, this eventually could lead to a walkover, which even further from. This is actually pretty hard too. The hips are very tight. They're not fully extending, as you can see. The shoulders are tight. Wow. This is going to require a lot of work over the next while. Fred says, I will try and sand. Good, I want to see that. Get everybody at the station to do one. And get a whole group shot of back bridges. That'd be entertaining. See if anybody's got one. All right, back to the right. 3, 2, 1. Hips up high. I'm just drenched here, sweating all over the place. How's it supposed to feel? Is that one more per side? Then we'll test out the bridge. And I think what I'll do is elevate my feet for that, because that attempt felt uncomfortable. 10. One more on the left, one more on the right. 3, 2, 1, go. No beep. Weird. Oh, maybe it's because it's not on interval. Push into the floor with the heels. Push the hips up to the ceiling. Oh my God. One more set. It's getting wet out here. It's like it's been raining here. Open the window maybe. 15. It's not too cold out. Last one. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Woo. Okay, it's pretty real. All right, take a minute. We'll chill out from that, and then we'll try maybe 1 or 2 little bridges from an elevated foot position. I'm gonna set up my mat so I don't slide out of the way here. That's a sweaty sandbag. Have to let that dry out. Okay, so we'll get a couple attempts here. Try it out, see how you feel. If you feel like you've had enough, you can start stretches. But I want to kind of get a baseline here. Little video evidence of where we started. Not really sure how to get into this, so let's see. Well, it's high. Let's see, hips up first, and then press. I feel like that's way better than the floor. The hips, abs. Head to the floor. Press out. You do it? That look good? You get 1 more of those. It's funny. You know, you do something like that and you think in your head you look good. You know, you look like the video. But I'm sure if I go watch that, I'm not gonna look like the video. Let's see what we got for likes here. 2 likes, guys. Go put a like on the video. Take an attempt at that. And then go like the video. At least 2 of you here. We're gonna get 1 more attempt here, but in between, press the like button. Do it. Do it. Let's get some more people joining us in the morning. How are the bridges, Jody? How are those feeling? Megan, you still here? You trying some out? Or are you just getting ready for your bench? Okay, we'll do 1 more here. Excuse me, and then we'll get into our stretch and finish for the day. Okay, 1 more attempt. Biggest challenge here is the hair. Oh my God. The stretch on the abs there is like nothing else. Jody says, yikes. That was very revealing about my weak core. Megan, I'm here. We'll try soon. And then last time I did that was in high school. I'm not sure I've ever done that, to be honest. But the more that I put a little bit of time into it, the more I'm starting to want to do it more, and the more I'm realizing weaknesses within that, right? I was amazed just right there how much stretch through the abs that I've really never felt before. So we're gonna keep that up. I think there's probably a lot of value in that that I think, you know, in CrossFit we're not necessarily thinking of, excuse me. So we're gonna bring that in there, and I think what we're gonna see is, oh, I was on the wrong screen, no. So let's take a minute here. Let's get into a stretch. I don't remember I was going there, but I think there's probably lots of carryover. Let's go, I know we already, let's do this. We're gonna go hip extensors, all those sandbags. Okay, so what we'll do, sliding around the floor here, we're gonna go with the thread the needle. So you can take both knees up, you're gonna cross one across the other thigh, or the shin across the thigh, reach through, grab and pull to the chest. You guys get a close-up view here. Jody, absolutely no strength to do the real back bend. Yours looks so good. Yeah, right. You're just being nice, Jody. I'm also probably just so stubborn. And what was I reading the other day? You know, they were talking about how, you know, how guys like to win really badly. I think maybe the base show, Jake was talking about, you know, how he wants his kids to show effort and like winning is not important, whatever. And I agree with that. But at the same time, I don't want to lose. You know, it's not even necessarily about winning. It's about not losing. And I know that that's not the most important thing here, but I'm stubborn. And, you know, when I go and do that thing, I'm probably going to put myself in a position that I'm not ready for because I'm stubborn and I want it to be better than it is and whatever. So I was working very, very hard in that position. And I'm assuming, let's switch sides here. I'm assuming if there was like a gymnastics coach here or something, they would say that that was not the way to do it. I can tell you a story on that if you want. I have a tendency to, well, be stubborn, I guess. I'll use the example of when I was working in a military base for a while as a co-op job in university, working a fitness job there, and they had a pool on site, and all the PT staff, all the physical training staff were required to be lifeguards. And I hadn't done any swimming lessons since I was a kid. So basically we fast-tracked through all the life-saving stuff, the like Bronze Cross and the NLS. I don't know if this is specific to Canada or Ontario, but basically forced me to become a lifeguard. And I remember, and I'm not a great swimmer, but you know, I kind of have this same tendency towards everything that like I'll fight through it and push through it and get it done. And I remember the testing to become a lifeguard. And if you're in this world, you're familiar with the egg beater kick, right? Basically your legs are like alternating in this egg beating motion, and you know, it should be strong enough that you can keep your hands out of the water, and that's the idea. And let's get another stretch here. Let's go hands overhead. Let's go one at a time. So I'm just gonna go one arm up the wall and drop the chest through. And I remember I didn't have a good egg beater, right? I hadn't had enough time to learn it. I probably hadn't put in much practice either. But I remember doing the testing, and the instructor or the examiner, you know, I did whatever task needed to be completed, and she goes, like, "You don't have an egg beater at all." She said, "You know, your flutter kick, which is just the basic like flail because you're gonna die, and you know you don't really have any technique." She's like, "Your flutter kick is strong enough that like I'm gonna pass you, but I hope you don't ever have to save anybody." So the point is, you know, when you say that bridge may have looked better than yours, it's probably just because I'm putting myself in a position that I shouldn't be in and fighting for something that I'm not ready for and being stubborn, Adam. So you're probably moving at a better pace in terms of progression, Jody. Do as I say, not as I do, right? It's one of those awful things that you can say to your kids. Okay, so we'll hang out here for another minute. And I know we talked about the homesteading and, you know, being physically capable and ready for your lives. Maybe I'll try to convince you to consider growing some of your own food. Consider just, you know, digging into where does my food come from? You know, how much of it is local? You know, is any of my food coming from within, you know, 100 kilometers of where I live? And if not, like, should it maybe? Is that something that we should be considering? Should we be thinking about where our food comes from, how much water we're transporting across the world to do that? Jody says, you mean treading water? Yeah. Yeah, but in the, I think what it was, I remember the one piece of the exam, they had a brick, like a rubber brick that they would drop to the bottom of the pool. I think it was like, I don't know, 15 feet. Like it wasn't a super deep pool, but deep enough that, you know, if you're not a good swimmer, you're not going to do it. And you had to go down and get the brick, and then you had to bring it to the top and hold it out of the water while you swam. So that was one of the challenges, that like if you had a good egg beater, you'd be able to hold that out of the water and whatever, do the foot thing. But I'm sitting there just fluttering, right, to save my life, just like going up and down out of the water. So it's just, I needed to get it done. And I guess she was told, the examiner was told that, hey, like he's kind of got to pass anyways, which isn't necessarily the way that I would want to have my lifeguard trained if I was swimming or my kids were there, but it was what it was. And I think the point just to take away is that I'm a stubborn idiot. Jody, there's a huge hypnotic farm going up near me. How do you feel about that type of growing? Hydroponic. Can you imagine that I have views about this, Jody? I have substantial views on hydroponics. So yeah, I mean, food should be, so the more I learn about this, the more I understand that we should be like super, super tightly integrated with our soil, right? Everything that we eat comes from soil, except for this hydroponic world, and we'll touch on that. So that, you know, the microorganisms, the microbiology that is in your soil is in your body. And the more close your food is to you, the more local it is, the more that those microorganisms and those bacteria are the right ones, right? That you are becoming your land, you're becoming local, you're becoming one with the food. Maybe I'm not explaining this right. If you, number one, get your food from another country, right? I mean, if you're eating processed foods, a lot of those ingredients are coming from China or from South America or wherever, and the soil that they're grown in is not native to you, right? Those microorganisms, that microbiology is not the same as yours. The closer it is, the better. So if we take that whole system out of it and we now start growing our food in water with man-made chemical fertilizers, I don't think that's even, I don't, you know, maybe I'm going a little bit off the rails here, but I don't think that's food. You know, food, like the way that I look at this is an ecosystem, right? Everything works in harmony. You know, those critters out there, you can't see them, it's pitch black, but those sheep and those cattle, they eat the grass, right? And then they poop out the remnants of that. And within that, there's microbiology, microorganisms that go back and feed the soil. When those critters die and we eat them, the pieces that we don't eat, you know, their bones and their hide or whatever, that will break down and become soil and get eaten by the microbiology and the microorganisms that are there. And that'll cycle back through and become healthier and healthier land and healthier food for us. But to take the soil out of the equation is just mind-boggling. You know, like, there are no microbiology, there are no microorganisms in there. It's like a brain in a vat. It's like creating an artificial growing environment that is, you know, it's this reductive thinking that we have about food, you know, that food is protein, carbs, fat, and calories. And we're missing all of it. We're missing the reality of the nutrients in there, the micronutrients, the upbringing of that food and how it was raised and how it was fed by the soil and by the earth. It's just, in my opinion, is we're moving in this direction of like, we need to feed the world and we need to choose these mechanisms for doing so that are so unnatural because we've got so many people in a city. Like, I got so many thoughts. I mean, get the hell out of the city, right? Like, let's get people spread out a little bit. There's no need for everybody to be stacked on top of each other in a city. It's step one. And then two, like, we need to care about where our food comes from. We need to care how it's grown, how it's made, and what the impact on our world is. You know, like, where do those chemical fertilizers come from? And is that what you want to eat? I mean, two huge things in there that I'm just not into. Hopefully that wasn't too aggressive answer your question. I appreciate your perspective on it for sure. Yeah, it's the more I think about it, the more I learn about it, the more I'm integrated with that system that I'm in, where the animals are part of the ecosystem as they should be. You know, the more walls I put up, the more barriers I put up towards this like commodity, chemical, food production. It's not food, you know, it never would have happened like that in nature. You know, I want to eat things that could have happened on their own in nature, you know, and ideally we've kind of helped it along, you know, to make it in a way that we can what's the word? Integrate was not the right word. Interact with it. But I mean, it's just, yeah, sorry. Megan says, tell me how you really feel. Great information on that topic. Thank you. Hopefully that was professor level answer. I kind of had the same feeling. Thanks for your thoughtful insights. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm obviously very passionate about this. And as I was saying, the more I spend time with those critters, the more I understand that we need to move towards natural processes if, you know, future generations are going to have food to eat that's not made in a laboratory. Maybe some other time you can ask me how I feel about lab-grown meat, Jody. You can only imagine the answer to that one. All right. Okay, we're on this do the homework screen and we didn't talk about it at all. You know the drill, team. Now it's time to go do your work. Maybe on this topic, you know, maybe it is, you know, the end of September here, so you're probably not planning your garden or anything for next year, but maybe, or sorry, you're not planning it for now, but maybe your work right now, your homework for today, your most important work could be finding a way that you can get off the commercial food hamster wheel. You know, what is a way that I can move to a more sustainable way of eating? Maybe it's, you know, searching for local farms in your area. You know, maybe it's just finding new recipes to be able to take those real foods and make them into things that you like. I mean, if you're already on that track, you know, maybe it's designing your own, your side hustle, your new business. Maybe it's writing a book. Whatever it is, whatever your goal is, this is the time, right? You're primed, you're jacked up, the body feels amazing. You can see I'm rambling now. I'm getting all excited because the mind is working. Now it's time to go do that work, make the progress towards your goals. Join us in the free school community where we'll talk programming. You would have seen that I changed the plan for today from the single leg to the back bridge. But come on in there and talk programming. And then if you want more, right, if we want to talk goal setting and you want to dig in, there's a paid group as well where we get together weekly and dig into that. So on that note, let's check what do we got tomorrow. I'll let you know, and then we'll head out here. Tomorrow, presses and kettlebell swings. Oh, and then and then heavy. Okay, cool. We got a good session tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. Not as terrified, but should be fantastic. Ready? Make it a great day, everyone. You too, man. Thanks for showing up. Diana, if you're there, have a great day as well. Station 66. Is that what it was? Where are we at? Let's see if we can find that. I lost it. Station 66. Go get it. Thanks for protecting us, keeping us safe. And you guys, have yourselves a fantastic day. See you tomorrow. Peace.